Hello, hi again. We're back today with another episode of What Am I Doing? Starring me. What am I doing? Just kidding. I know what I'm doing. uh, um, so I'm building out the gifting calendar. It is a project that I'm doing for my software engineering boot camp that is coming to a close at the end of this month. It's self-paced, but they set a deadline and they're like, get it done or you're out of here. So I'm like, all right. And yeah, my final project, get this taken care of, go through an assessment, and then I'll be graduated, finally. It's taking a while, but I've been learning a lot, and I've come across a lot of great opportunities along the way. This project itself is the front end is being built using React and Redux JavaScript frameworks. The back end with Rails API, and this is my sixth day, I'm pretty sure, sixth day working on it, and it's been a journey. Yeah. Yesterday I was messing around with the packages and kind of it blew up in my face, and I'm just like, I don't have time to keep troubleshooting this, so I ended up recreating that or rebuilding that front end part by running the Create React app using npx and getting just like that fresh install. And I was in the process of copying over files from this previous front end to my new front end, and then I kind of was done for the day because it was like 9:15 and my food got here from DoorDash, and there's a really good burrito. It's so good. Burrito al pastor. I had half of it for dinner and I just ate the other half for lunch. It's so good. And also, yesterday was my birthday, and I didn't really want to spend the entire freaking day coding, so I got to relax for a few hours at night. So, yeah, now back at it. So, right now, I have up in my terminal, I created a new branch called Rebuild in this new front end repo, and that's in here. In this editors here, I have the gifting calendar. That's this like parent folder that I have locally in my just organization on my computer. And then front end, the gifting calendar corresponds to a repo that's also on GitHub, and then the gifting calendar front end old is what I renamed this to. So I'm transferring those files over. So right now I have like these, whatever is at that ./src level is good to go. So the store, the reducer, I added a couple things that I'm expecting to add in later. I'm gonna pull up, here we go, my model map. So right now on the back end, I have this resource built out, my recipient, and that's what I'm trying to pull in at the moment. I will build out occasion and item. So I kind of just put that in there for now and commented that out because I figured, hey, I'm in that file, I'm just gonna do it. So then I also right now have this app.js with a recipient's index container, which I still have to move over from that old legacy front end, I'll refer to it as. And this is just, I want to be able to successfully render my seed data on the page. I haven't been able to do that yet, and it's been frustrating the hell out of me. So let's get into it. And hello, my viewers. Glad to have you here, whoever you may be. Alright, I had this open for this action types. I don't need to bring this over because I am constructing my reducers a bit differently than when I defined these constants, and that's due to the docs, something I read in the documentation. It's splitting reducers is what they called it. Yeah. So in the Redux documentation, they're saying they're typically split apart based on the section of the Redux state that they update. And we're seeing, so I wanted to compare this because this is coming in as the initial state is coming in as an array of objects, and they're going off of this, which, as you can see, so that array is an array of to-dos that represents this, right? This is not, this is like unsplit up here. I want to see where they define the initial state here and what it looks like. There we go. So they have these two top level things, this to-dos array and filters. And I to show you. I started yesterday. Zoom in. Zoom, 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 zoom. So this is the seed data that is currently in my back end. These recipients. And this is how it's coming through in the, this is how the JSON is coming through. So I think that if I destructure, okay, I think that if I destructure that as it comes in and pass it through correctly, I can mimic this example. So like instead of to-dos, it would be data, which would represent the recipients. So I'd have to like, assign, I wouldn't have to, but to keep myself sane up here, I'd want to assign this data to a variable called recipients, or maybe recipients data, something like that. And so it would be an array. And then yeah, go about it that way. Let's see. And then the cool thing is, so you see how down here, when this is in this, using this initial state where it has both the to-dos and the filter, so they have to first destructure the state, then take that to-dos array, then destructure the to-dos and add this to-do. Well, when we come down to the splitting reducers, and this is why I wanted to do this, when you're getting this initial state, you're only concerned with what one part of the state that is in the store. So the whole application state, which is what they're calling a slice. So instead of a to-dos array, they're just making the initial state that value of the to-dos array. And this whole file you can see is the to-do slice. And now they don't have to do like that nested level destructuring. They only have to do it once to add that new to-do. Oh yeah, that looks nice. What's to-do ID? Alright. So I'm coming back here. Got a little bit sidetracked there. Gonna create, and they suggest that you create a features folder to put it in if you're gonna go about this way. So features and recipients. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that for now. And then new file, recipients slice.js. Yeah. Woo! Oh my goodness. Bless me. And I just want to check something real quick. Okay. So I'm gonna close out this stuff because I don't need it. Let's go in here, copy all of this. Oh wait, actually I forgot. So I have a lot of code commented out here. So I'm gonna, and I really think that I effed all this up too. So let's just, I'm only gonna put in the stuff that is actually being used from that one. It's like, okay, I still have it in here, that's fine. I can always go back and get it. And then initial state. Now this whole thing is where I think it's effed up. And I'm going to put a note to myself. Fix initial state for docs. So I'm going to just leave it like that right now. And finish copying the other stuff over that needs to come over just to make sure like I have everything. Okay, actions folder, new folder, actions, and then what is it? Fetch recipients. .js. Okay, that's good. So this is defining the stuff that's being passed into here. And containers. Come on. Containers and components. recipients list and recipients list item are my components, and there ain't nothing in either of them. Those were just waiting for things. Recipients list item. And then my container is recipients index container. Okay. Let's copy and paste. Okay. You are not happy? Why? Let's have a unique title property. That's interesting. I didn't know that before. Well, now what do you want? Okay. Alright. So I've got everything that I think I need. Maybe. There's still this piece here, the state. But I'm going to leave that there for now. And gonna go to Git. Okay, so list and list items, git commit, create component files, and git commit, create container component, component file. Git commit, create recipients reducer file, and then git commit, create recipients fetch actions. All right, I think that'll be good. I'm going to quit out of this, and I want to move. Oh gosh, come on. I want to move my project out of, so that the legacy front end code, I want to move it out of that particular folder, so it doesn't keep showing up when I open Visual Studio Code because I don't want to accidentally commit to the wrong place or anything like that. So I'm doing that now. And there we go. Now it's open again. Oh, I just started typing and my fingers are already like, no! Why? Why do you put us through these horrible feats of agility and strength? I'll get one of those crazy things that guitarists get where it's like they practice with pushing down on the springy thingies. You know, the springy thingies, the things. Okay. Back end, front end. We good. Oh, hi there. Glad you could make it. Let's... Ooh, yeah. This is not going to work the way it is. So hot. Alright, rebuild's done. So I'm going to check out main and merge the rebuild in. There. And then yeah, I'm gonna just keep that for now, just in case I screw anything up. And let's move on from here. Okay. So I think where a good part to start would be where I put my little bookmark. To examine this initial state. And so in here they had initial state as this to do, and for mine, actually I'm going to spin up the back end. I'll turn on Postgres first. Get my elephant moving. Elefante. Let's see what we got here. Okay, just what I thought. You know, I wonder if I can like screw around with it from here. What is this? I'm gonna go and do what you're not supposed to do and just allow everything through. Whoops, hey, stay there. So I'm going to course. I'm only here, I'm like localhost only, but I'm just gonna change that for a hot second. To see. Ooh, you're so bad. Let's see. Not allowed to load local resource, view source, localhost, recipients. Oh, is this? That's strange. Blocked by client. Let's look at. Let's Google it. Google it. Rails. Oops. Oh wait, this says React questions. Oh god, I hate when these pop-ups come up. Until I make a refresh. Oh my god. Is it because I don't have any routes in my thing? Nobody helped them either. Yeah, yeah. So Rails is working. Like, Rails is definitely working. This is coming out of Rails. Yeah, it's just this isn't working. So I don't know. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I think I might have to just. I wonder if I can look in Rails console and get back this JSON. Hey Courtney, I have it set to 3001. Where are we? Okay. So let's do recipients equals recipient dot all. Okay, and that is an object. It returns a serializer. Okay, recipients dot what is that method that I need? GitHub.com / JSON. Yes, JSON API serializer. Oops, I don't need you anymore. JSON string serializable hash to JSON. Let's see. Serializable hash. God. Can we pick some longer, more complicated words, please? Oh, how do you pretty print this stuff? I forget. I know there's a way. Pretty print in Rails console. Oh, look at that. I Googled it before. YAML. Herb. Awesome print. Huh. Oh yeah. Pry. That's it. Oh no. Did I not do it right? Oh, it's not in my gem file. So I'm gonna make sure this is big enough. Let's put good old pry in here. Good old pry. Oh man. Okay, hold on a sec. I'm gonna copy this and copy that so I don't have to type it up again. Bundle. Oh yeah. Let's pry into it. Oh gosh. Hey Courtney, is it hot enough for you? I'm so hot. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. I'm so excited that my dad is gonna come by later on and help put in, wait, what am I doing this? Help put in my window units. So I'm like, thank God. Okay. Now let's try it. Yay! Thanks for looking pretty. Okay. Let's see. Field sets params resource. Oh, but yeah, it did make it a little too pretty. Because then it took out like that data thing. Let's see if there's anything at the end. Nope. Okay. So recipient serializable hash to JSON. And that's a maybe maybe I could do this. What do I get back? Okay, all I need is the hash. I don't need the 2JSON because that just stringifies it. Well, okay, so Kristen, I already have that in my controller. It's just I am not able to like comprehend what the hell is going on without being able to manipulate the data, and I can't manipulate the data because like something on the front end is blocking it from coming through for some reason. So being able to see it though here like this in the Rails console and being like, okay, so I know that that is exactly what I put down yesterday. Like, this is exactly what was coming through. Now I can be like, all right, so this object is this. So I can even do, come on, I don't want to take there. JSON equals that, and then when I type JSON, it gives me back what is coming through. So from here, I can play with it now and be like, okay, now what do I need to do to get it into the form that I want it to be when I send it through this method here, or function, whatever the fuck they call it in JavaScript. Whatever you guys call it. Yeah. So if I do JSON.data, no method error because it's a hash. That's probably why. There we go. And now I get back that But this is coming through as a string, so I will be able to use, so this is coming through as JSON, it's stringified, response.json, JSON turns it into an object, right? I'm 99% positive that I'll be able to just call JSON. I think, yeah, that's it. Yes, okay. The JSON method of the body makes and take a response stream, reads it to completion. It returns a promise which resolves with a JavaScript object that is the result of parsing the body text as JSON. Notice that despite the method being named JSON, parentheses, the result is not JSON but is instead the result of taking JSON as input and parsing it to produce a JavaScript object. Okay. So this in actuality would be JSON.data in here. So I could put recipient data equals JSON.data. And then do that. Then it would send through the whole array. No, but that's not what I want. This is, okay, so this would be recipients. If it's JSON.data, because it's just the array, and each object in the array represents a recipient object. If just JSON is, this is the recipient data, oh, fucking hell. Okay. So now I think that where's my okay. I think that this, here we go. Okay, so data structure of the store. So steps of the state in the store. So this is going to be the is loading slice. This is the recipient's slice. Then I'm going to do is loading. It's just going to default false or whatever. I don't know. Just put it like that. So the slices are like, what do they describe it as? Redux code for a particular feature. Relates to a specific concept or area of your application. A slice reducer. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Oops, don't want to come back here. So these are like the top level sections, that's what they call it. Slices represent top level sections of the app's state. So is loading, recipients, so this is actually going to be come on, that, because I'm assigning it that name, and then each object in the array represents a recipient. And then from there, it's pretty self-explanatory. And you gotta get rid of that line on the end. Boop. And then there's gonna be a occasions with is in JavaScript. And then items. Just state data. Let's do that. I think my brain is comprehending things now. Ah, enlightenment. I knew that this book would come in handy eventually, you know? I see it now. I'm being a weirdo. Let's see. Okay. So this is good to go as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to spin that back up. And there we go. Now, fetch begins. We're not sending anything on that. And then on success, we're sending the data through. Don't need these. I just actually wait. I'm going to toss the changes I made to course. And then commit that. And CryGen. Yay! Okay. Okay. Now, oh wait, I already got that. Now, initial state is not being imported. We're going to build it. Initial state equals, and it's going to be I'm referring to this again. So they have actual stuff in here. Cut and paste its to-be-related initial state over into this file. I'm just gonna keep it like this for now. So initial state, it's gonna be blank. Now, because we're the payload that we're returning is interesting. Structure of store. So I'm gonna do this again just because it helps me to write things out. 1, 2, 3. So it's a recipient's array, and I forgot that you can't tab. You can't tab in this. Okay. Yes, I'm a tabber. Okay. Recipients by ID is one that we want. Recipient IDs is another. And this I am going to separate into its own slice, which makes me think that I don't even need this. Although, yeah, I do, because it's an asynchronous function. So actually, maybe I don't. I might be able to combine, because when it's fetch recipients begin, I'm not going to need any information at all from anything having to do with the recipients. All I'm going to need to show is if it's loading or not. I'm going to try something. Oops, don't want that. Features, new folder. Utilities. Utilities. If I can spell, that would be cool. That would be cool, man. It's loading.js. Okay, initial state is loading. False. Case. We're going to return. Where's that example? So completed. To be toggled. Okay. It's to do ID equal to the action payload. I'm trying to understand. So I'm trying to understand what's going on here. So I want to see. I actually want to see an example of this because I see there's something saying like, is this to do completed? And okay, so handling additional actions. With that in mind, let's add the reducer logic for a couple more cases. First, toggling the to-use completed field based on its ID. Copy the entire state object. This time we need to make a copy of the old to-dos array. State to-dos map to-do. If this isn't the to-do item we're looking for, leave it alone. If to-do.id is not that item, okay, we found the to-do that has to change. Return a copy. Flip the completed flag. So okay, I think that this would be something like so when it begins, return state dot is no, state dot initial state. So you flip that, and then otherwise, God, I'm screwing this up for sure. Maybe I should just make that, maybe I should just make this an object that holds as loading. Oh, this is so confusing. It's like, so confusing. God damn. Okay, initial state. Okay, this is a big ass object that holds these two things. So that means this should be, where am I? This should be a big ass object too. So slices represent top level sections of the app state, which is a big ass object that holds everything below. Okay, so then I can do something like that instead, I think. But then I'll be overwriting the state, and I don't want to do that either. On this. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about it for the moment. Because that's not even getting passed through. But recipients is, and I want recipients by ID and recipient IDs. And I think it's simple recipients slice structure. I think that's what I want. So now let's go back down to this split. Splitting reducers, okay. Initial state. So the initial state is going to be recipients, and it's going to have recipients by ID and recipient IDs. And I need to put state dot recipients here, I think. Right? No. Okay. Hmm. Okay. What's the matter here? You want to be right with parentheses? What are you talking about? I'm coding in circles. Okay, so we just want to return this date. Let's just start with that for now and see what the hell happens. Because this is just bothering the crap out of me. Just add the new arrays. What is coming through here? Action.payload. And the payload is recipient. So I think what I want here is action.payload.recipients. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's see what works. I don't have much confidence, y'all. Okay. This is going great. This is the error that, this is the never-ending error. The one that haunts my dreams and my nightmares. Throw it in here. Not read property map of undefined. And you don't stop at any of my debuggers. You're not listening to anything I'm doing either. Come on. Index, continue. Can we, what is this? Yes, I see that. I got this error about 1,000 times yesterday, no matter what I did. And the day before that, quite a few times too. It was not fun. Oh my god! It's finally hitting something. Okay. Yes. Alright, things are happening. Recipients is an array. Okay. Yay. Now let's keep going. Okay. So now I'm in, Jesus, come on. This recipient slice. And oh my god. What? State here is nothing. I think I might not have yeah, I didn't need to put that dot recipients on the end there. Oh, yay! Okay, let's see. I'm not going to celebrate just yet because I've gotten super close before. Oh my god, okay. There's stuff happening. Oh, Jesus. No errors. No errors! Ah! Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god! Oh my god! It worked! Ah! I've been doing React for like maybe 2 weeks. Maybe. It's such a crazy. Ah, yay! Ah, my last 2 days were just like going in circles, and I finally got something back. Woo! Ah, this feels good. 5 years? Oh man. Good for you. Oh. Yeah, I'm working on a project that's due in 3 days and requires React and Redux on the front end. And it's been throwing me for a loop. But Finally getting somewhere. Okay, I am committing this shit. No. Not this. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but oh my god. Yeah. So happy. Train celebrating with me. Yeah, I had this in here before with the and it was still yelling at me, but this time it didn't. So thank you for that suggestion. I have seen TypeScript, and I've attended like some presentations on it. It looks just like simpler way of writing JavaScript to me. Let's see. So let's put in add catch for undefined recipients, and then actually fetch stuff. I know that's not a good commit message, but it's meaningful to me, and I'm the only one on this project, so yay! Okay, let's mold this. Mold it. Okay. Okay. Oh god, I'm so excited. So excited. So now we know that this is coming in. I'm going to put I'm gonna do this. Let recipients. Where am I in the right? Okay. Array equal action payload, and it's I'll use that as a const actually. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to take the debugger out of here. Oh, type checking. Yeah, I don't use any languages that have type checking in them. That would definitely be new to me. Take that out for now. Okay, and no, I'm using the wrong thing. There we go. So now I'm gonna rerun this. Okay, and go to the console, recipients array. Okay, let's play. This is like something that I wanted to do before, but I wasn't getting I wasn't able to because that damn thing was like, can't map over something undefined. Can't map over something undefined. Yeah, so I would like to make the I'm looking at my notes and they don't exist. I was looking at a piece of paper that has nothing on it, so that doesn't help. I want to make this recipients by ID and recipient IDs with this. So I think a good thing to do would be to map, and well, a good thing to do would be to create like a variable, and we'll do actually, hold on. So I'm gonna make it recipient IDs. I'm gonna make that first because then I think it'll be easier to make the recipients by ID. So recipients array dot map. We'll do recipient and then for each recipient you can see we have this ID, and here this is an index. This confused the hell out of me the other day. I was like, wait, but it's an array. Why? Yeah, it's just an index against the array. This isn't like a key value pair. So we're gonna take the recipient dot ID, but we're also going to call parse int on this because you can see here they're strings, and we want to turn it into integers just when defining them, because it'll help us know to it'll just help us to have that in the definition, like it's an ID, it's a number there. So recipient IDs. Ooh, that didn't work. Okay, let's see if this just gives back anything. Oh, there we go. So it gives back what I wanted. I don't know why I can't save it to anything. It's a little strange. I wonder if I can... No, I'll try. Recipient IDs. No, it won't do that. It's not as cool as Rails console. Oh well. So, okay, I know that this is what I need to create that value. So where did I put that? Okay. What am I doing? I'm trying to think of how I want to structure this, because actually, oh crap. Now that I'm thinking about it, this doesn't make sense to nest them at all. Both of these are dealing with multiple recipients, so why would we nest it under an array of all the recipient objects? Like, both of these are holding items that are representative of all the recipient objects as well. Which makes me want to change things. And change them I shall, because I don't know what's good for me. Oh no, no. Oh God. Forgot about that darn tab. Da, da, da. Okay. Recipients, data. Ooh, putting that in. Recipients. Keeping that. And closing that. I think I'm going to go up one. Unnest the nest. Unnest the nest. So the array represents all recipients. This I don't need here, because I moved that up here. This is my big ass object comment. Readjust the state structure. Store state. State store. State store. Oh gosh. If you live in PA, you know what a state store is. If you live in PA and you're 30 or older, you know what a state store is. If you're younger than that, you might not. Because they don't call them that anymore. Oh, also, Sensible Mind, if you're still around, um, I think like that type checking, like um, the typed programming languages, there's definitely a value to being able to declare that in your in your like when you're constructing your functions and creating your variables, um, so you can always rely on that constant. I come from Ruby, where it's a duck typing world until now. Because in Ruby 3, you can add type checking if you'd like. Fun fact! Here we go. Okay, if I'm getting Ohio, our neighbor. Also, a great song. Is that Crosby, Stills, and Nash? And whoever else. There's like a combination of 4 of them that rotate around, and I can never keep it straight. I want to just like paste this because I'm worried I'm gonna lose it. Let's see. Okay, so we are now fetching recipient data instead. Oops, don't want that. Oh, come on. Hi, how's it going? Oh my gosh. So my project was not going. It was going like meh until like 10 minutes ago. And I actually fetched something and it came through. And I was like, ah, ah, oh my god. Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. And yeah. uh, and so now I'm going to do this. Da, 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 da. What am I doing? What am I doing? No, I have it here. Hi. There we go. Recipients. I'm just gonna copy this. Yeah, I do got this. You're so right. Okay. I think I see it coming together right before my very face. Let's do This state and that. Yay! Okay. Recipients data. That's what's coming through here. And then we're returning the action payload. So this is going to be action payload recipients. And then this one is going to be action payload recipients dot map all this crazy junk. And this is going to be by ID. Okay. Time to run this again and see what else I can make. Where is... No, that's not it. Did I close it? Am I silly? Did I close it? Why do I have these up? Oh, Lord. Okay, localhost 3000. Uh-oh. Alright. That's okay. We'll get to the bottom of this. Map of undefined. Recipient's data is not defined. Action dot payload. Okay. Quite interesting. Let's go back a little further. Okay. So that is sending us this, and this data is an object, which is an array of objects, which is what I want. Oh, okay. I think I know what's happening. I think that so recipient data dot data, I'm trying to rename it recipients. It's like now. So I'm just going to change this and see what happens. Just see if it goes through. Oh, that. Okay. No, still not. Oh, come on. Wait, actually, hold on. Recipients data. Oh no, it worked this time. Yes. Because now, if I go to Redux and go to my state, it's gonna be like, hey, look at me. I got some IDs in here now. Oh boy. Yay. So I just gotta figure out a way to change that name. That's not a huge deal. And okay, now I want to go back here. So recipient's data is an object that contains this array. And what I still have left to do is to create recipients by ID. Well, you know, I almost feel like, because I have the, I have the info that I need. I don't necessarily need it in there. So I'm wondering actually if I can do, you know how there's like hooks in Rails controllers where it's, you can do like an after action, like a callback after a controller action. It's kind of what I want here. So I can utilize these two things to create my recipients by ID. You did? Go and bring that up. Actions, races. Lit URL. So wait, your action functions and pass them to the reducer. So you do fetch, and then oh, so you are like in here, doing it in here, like doing all your stuff, and then passing it through. Gotcha. That's clever. Clever girl, clever girl. One of my old bosses used to say that. Clever girl. Okay. I think I might do that. Possibly. Because we have well, I think it would still be the same issue because actually no, it wouldn't. Because I can create a constant here. Oh, I guess I could create a constant here too. I just did it. Duh. Okay, so let's do IDs and make it equal to that. And then I'm realizing that for the data, like, it's giving me back this stuff, but do I really want the ID and type? I don't really care, you know? So I should probably drill further down to attributes and get that back. But that would have to be for each then, huh? Ugh. Ooh. This is getting interesting. Yes, that's correct. Data attributes. So recipient data. Put that in there. Dot map. And then each recipient, I'm going to do attributes. And just see what happens. Let's just go. Let's just do that for now. Yeah, Joanne, I talked with a friend and we were talking about just like how to store this stuff, and he was telling me how like it's good to do, he likes to create this like recipients by ID and a list of recipient IDs and then like the recipient objects, because then it's like, okay, you can access an array of the objects, you have access to the IDs, and then in cases where you need to find by the ID, if you structure it like a hash map, it's like a much better performing search method than iterating through an array of objects, because hash maps have instantaneous lookup. Like, he's worked on databases with a couple thousand entries. He's like, it's been painful sometimes. So I'm just like, I'm sorry for your pain, and I thank you for sharing your wisdom with me. Dispatch. What's happening? Why did it go? Oh, okay. There we go. Recipients. Data. Ooh, okay. Are you gonna work? Let's find out. Ooh, and would you look at that? Look at them beautiful objects. Gorgeous. So, gives back an array, and that is what I'm looking for. Yay! Okay, that is what I'm looking for. Ah! And now, recipients by ID. I'm completely blanking on this. So When in doubt, Google it. Google the most basic things. It's okay. Thanks for stopping by. I most likely will still be on. I didn't get to go for ice cream yesterday, so my parents are stopping by later. We're gonna go for ice cream after they help me with my air conditioning. And then I'll probably, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get back on. I probably will because it's getting near the end. It's code fuel. Yes. Code fuel. Okay, what was I doing? um, JavaScript classes. No, that's not what I want. I wanted, I don't know what I wanted. JavaScript reference. Okay. Yes. Yes. Was this it? Do I want this? Yes. Okay. The map. Multi key value pairs remembers the original insertion order of the keys. The map object iterates its elements in insertion order. Key value. Object is similar to map. Both let you set keys to values. Retrieve those values, delete keys, detect whether something's stored at a key. For this reason, because there were no built-in alternatives, object has been used as a map historically. There's important differences. The map's keys can be any value. Oh. Okay, setting object properties. Okay, cool. That way of setting properties not interact with the map data structure. It uses the feature of generic objects. Yowling cats. Oh, when they start to yowl, you know. You know. Correct usage for storing data in the map is through the set key value method. Let's get get delete log. Okay, so if I want to create a map in the first place, shit. Where do I do that? Okay, so new map. And now this should say it's a map, right? Maybe. Or not. State data. Okay, state dot recipient IDs. Because here I wouldn't want anything to change yet. State dot recipients by ID. Okay, good. And that's carrying over this map. Awesome. So that's carrying over this initial state. And now this is taking in like, hey, well, maybe not, because, right? I'll figure it out. And now, we have set, let's see, the iteration methods are values entries. Let's call back. So this calls callback function once for each key value pair. I don't think that's what I need. setting the values. New map, key function. Okay, iterating that with for each. Relation with array objects, cloning and merging maps. Okay, cool. Maps can be merged, maintaining key uniqueness. Alright. So let's do let my maps. So new map no. Fetch map equals God. I know in Ruby they have that. No. I was thinking about that zipper method, but that wouldn't work here either. Okay, let's do I think I have an idea. Let's do this. Create map. IDs. Recipient data. Oops. I don't want to do that. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Recipient data. Okay. And I'm going to do I'm blanking. Okay. Can't believe I forgot that. For let I equal 0. Oops. I less than length of IDs. Come on. And then I plus plus. Recipients by ID dot set no, this name, this is oh no. New map. Okay, let's do that. New map dot set. Where am I? IDs. I and recipient data. I. That's what I need. Okay, new map. I'm just making a new map. And then, hello there, Messy Fresh. And then I have to, oh god, I gotta merge. Maps can be merged. Maintaining key uniqueness. Oh, I like this. Okay. So I'm gonna make this a little differently. Function. Okay, so that is saved into here. Alrighty. Don't need this anymore. Uh-oh. Hey. Hey. Do I? Maybe I do. So doing that. Gonna do spread operator. The last repeated key wins. Spread operator essentially converts a map to an array. Okay, so whoa, what are you doing? I didn't say do that. The hell? What do I need to do here? Stop it! Stop typing things for me! I said, I didn't tell you to do that. State dot recipients by ID. Okay. Spread and then merge them. And then this will overwrite anything on there. Shit. I think. Oh, God, you got that right. IntelliSense. The most intelligent blocks that get in your freaking way everywhere you turn. Let's see. Let's go back here. Got my little spinner going still. It's like, are you ever coming back for me? Am I abandoned? I'm just gonna push it through and we'll see if I get yelled at. Oh, I did. I got yelled at. Undefined is not a function. Okay. What did you not like here? Let's go to Redux. Oh, you're not taking none of it. Whoa. Jerk. Okay, I know that you're getting something. Because this is coming through. So, let's see what you don't like. Are you doing this again, really? Yeah. Okay, so IDs, all right, we good on that. Recipient data, let's see how that looks. Okay, beautiful, bellissimo. Now, this is gonna be like, what are you trying to do here? And honestly, I'm not too sure. Although, why did I pass it parameters? Did I need to? Maybe I did. Oh, I also didn't actually call that function for create that. I just kind of made it. Okay. And I didn't close this. It's closed here though. This isn't going to know what the hell to do because I can't save that into here. Why is it not letting me save this? Let recipient data equal that stuff. I don't understand. Alright. You ready to get real ugly? You're forcing my hand, you know. I didn't want to do this. But I have no choice. Okay, so this might be nested too far. I wonder what happens if I just try to do this. Data without state dot data. Oop. Okay, so that's actually defined there. Okay, let's think about this. Do I have to actually call this or something? I'm going to change this back to an arrow function. Where else could I build this besides in here? Like somewhere after this fetch goes off. Oh, I could add another then. I could chain it. And then I would know. I'm gonna try that. Then fetch recipients after task. So I don't know what else to call it. What was the other thing? I'm gonna go here. Okay. Where did I see? Oh, it was in the Dave Sedia guide. Oh, look at that. It's my dad. Hey, guy. Okay. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. All right. Okay, bye. Okay, so I'm going to try to run that as like kind of like I was talking about earlier, as like a callback to a whatever, I don't know. So then dispatch. And that's not going to need any arguments. Also, that was my dad. He is coming over to help put in an air conditioner, so I'm going to have to go shortly, but I just want to throw this in there. Yeah, so it'll hit this first, and then it will hit that success, and then the after task. In which I should be able to create that map just by doing something similar to what I did up here. Only I won't have to like use those freaking. I could use so I can use what do we have? Data state dot data, right? Or no? Yeah, and then recipient. So I don't even have to define those. I can just throw in like state in front of it. So state dot recipient IDs, and then state dot data. Okay, what's the matter? Binding member expression. What does that mean? I don't know. Parsing error, binding member expression. Did I screw something up? Case, recipient, fetch recipient. Okay, and then I want to do this new map. What is the thing here? First, second. And then fetch map. Reloading it. It's giving me syntax errors and I don't know why. Nope. Okay, something's my fault. What could it be? Do I need to put recipient's data there? State dot recipient's data dot parsing error binding member expression. What do you mean? Oh, that's it. I forgot about that. Okay. Can't use error functions inside React component class. This isn't a component class. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Let me just try one more thing. But my parents did just pull up. So, okay. It's not that. What the? Okay. Okay, no more errors. Maybe that'll work. To be determined. I gotta go. Yeah, thank you. I'm probably gonna get on later. Um, yeah. So thanks for hanging in with me again. And yeah, I'm gonna keep at it. All right, bye.